Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Last Call Whiskey Podcast. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Travis.
Hey, it's Sean. I'm the Dark Cloud.
And tonight we are drinking 3 whiskeys. It's Cambeltown night on the podcast. We are drinking Springbank 10, Glen Scotia Victoriana, and the Kilkerran 12. So let's get into it, boys.
We recorded. When was our last recording? It was over a month ago, wasn't it? I feel this one. We had to wait. We had to wait really long.
Yeah.
It was the 11th, I think, of October, and now it's the 18th. So a week longer than a month.
When we decided we were only going to do once a month, I don't think I realized how hard it would be to wait till the next recording. But again, I'm not doing all the video editing and stuff that Jeremy is. He's probably like, the month is good. The month is good.
The month is perfect. Like if we were just doing this part, I'm like, oh, I could do this like every week. It's so much fun. But I need the month to put it all together.
Yeah, month is perfect. We're busy people, we got stuff going on. I literally just jumped off a minor hockey board meeting right into this. So this is the way it goes. I went from talking about tiering and U11s, and now we're talking about whiskey and Dark Cloud. So
that's a good night.
Anything going on in the last little bit for you guys and since last episode, whiskey wise? Life-wise?
You want to go?
Yeah, go, Jer.
It's it's clear that whiskey season is rolling because all of us, it's that time of the year where distilleries start kind of reaching out again. I got a package from Macaloni's today. So it's always kind of nice when it's that time of the year where you show up and there's a box at the front door. I love it, man. Love it.
I've had 2 packages delivered the last 2 days, but they were not for me. They're my stepfather's Christmas presents for his wife. He ships to our house. So, yeah.
Nice.
It's kind of like your samples last month.
Yeah, exactly.
Thought it was whiskey. It was not. It was an Amazon package.
It's definitely, we had, since the last recording, we had our Advent filling night, which turned into basically a house party at my house because there was a tasting nearby at Whiskey Drop, and six of the people from that tasting were like, "Hey, we're in the area, come for a dram." And I was like, "Sure." And then I had 7 people already over, and my wife came downstairs. She's like, "Is this a house party?" I was like, "I think it's a house party."
I think we accidentally made a house party.
Yeah. So I, you don't get that many fun whiskey people in a room very often. So I brought out actually a special bottle that I think I sent you guys samples of. That it's from the Syndicate Whiskey Club in Calgary, that Decadent Drams Old Blend. There you go. We can try that out later, but I cracked that for everybody that night, and absolutely fantastic. We can talk about that one later. And then we had Sean and I had the Scotch Club Christmas party this past weekend on Saturday. Sean, do you have some news to share with the little podcast there, bud?
Yeah, they completely surprised me and then made me an official member of the Edmonton Scotch Club. So, yeah, it was awesome. Ben Kabush, who actually turns out I've known longer than anybody else in the Scotch Club. He was the one that did the whole stood up and gave a speech, talked about dark clouds hanging over the Scotch Club, and I was like, "What is he talking about?" And then, so that was pretty cool. We had celebratory pipe smoking on the deck after that. So it was a good time. And talk about a unicorn whiskey that we drank that night.
Yeah.
That 35-year Brora from 1979.
78.
That was
78.
Yeah. That was insane. And then Trav,
So cool.
It's funny, from a year ago when we had the last Christmas party for the Scotch Club, he, all of us are always looking at auctions and stuff. He said, "Hey, boys, I need a full lineup of Christmas whiskeys." So we literally had, other than the Brora, everything else was Christmas themed. So it was a really fun night. Lots of good guys, lots of fun conversations, and a little bit of somber because it was the first one that we did without Rich, but he was there in spirit, and yeah, it was a good time.
That's awesome, man. It's people ask me here out west all the time. They're like, "Are you a part of like any whiskey clubs or anything?" And I'm not an official member of Edmonton, like of the club, but I tell people that that's the one I'm in. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm only in one. It's in Edmonton, though."
Yeah. Well, Sean is member number 44, and I said like we don't really. The only reason we let him in is because he took vacation the last 2 Novembers just to come to the Christmas party.
That's awesome.
Like, if I didn't let him in, he might, you know, again, he's our golden retriever. He might be a sad golden retriever.
Totally.
And then, and the Brewer 35, by the way, like up to $6,000 online, depending where you buy this bottle. So this is, I said to people in attendance, I said, it might not be, it's not probably going to be the best whiskey you ever taste, but it's an opportunity and you get to try something that most people in the world will never get to try. The experience alone and the atmosphere and everything is worth every penny of what we got to be a part of. A member actually just donated the bottle from his collection, which is why we were able to do it.
It's insane.
So cool.
So yeah, for $80 you get Aurora 35, 7 other Christmas themed whiskeys, and just about enough pizza to feed everybody. Just about enough. Just
the funniest part was when your wife and your son showed up before it even started, and there was like a couple trays of candy out, and one of the guys was like, Trav, is that okay for your kid to eat that candy?
He was worried they were edibles.
Yeah.
They're like, they're edibles, but they're just kid edibles. It's fine.
Yeah.
Jeremy, you and I are in a bit of a feud right now, in a bit of a battle. Not a feud. I'll call it a battle. A friendly battle.
A friendly Instagram follower battle.
Yeah. I went today. I don't know what I was doing on your profile because I think most of it's shit, but I was on there. Oh, because there was a reel that you tagged me in that we collabed on. That's why I was there. That part was good. And I was like, Jared's at 14.1 thousand. And I said, I think so I went and looked at mine and I was like, we're both at 14.1. We need to have like some kind of a friendly little who can get to 14.5 first or something. But you've taken an early lead now.
I've been fluctuating like between 14.1 and 14.2 for months. So it's like one day I'm like, oh, I'm at 14.2. And then the next day it's back down to 14.1. So I'm like fluttering right on the edge of it. But honestly, man, like my build has been so slow. And I feel like you started posting some reels that got a lot of traction. And that like shot you up pretty quick. So if you just get one more of those, you're going to leave me in the dust, man.
Yeah, I just keep waiting for that right combo, I'm trying to think, how can I beat Jer to 14.5? And there's two things. I either hire a bikini model.
That would work.
Or I just find that perfectly captioned, funny reel. And it gets, I think my biggest one's like 6.5 million or something like that. Like that's all it is. Your pictures are a little bit better than mine. Your content's better. Your pictures are just a little bit better. Sean posts every single day. He gets way more engagement than I will. But he's struggling to get past 5 for some reason. 5,000.
Ridiculous.
It's such a weird app.
It's a grind, man. It is such a grind.
You know what's boring? 3 people talking about their Instagram.
Yeah, I agree. Let's keep going here. Let's jump into happy hour.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm Ron Burgundy, and this is what's happening in your world tonight.
Heroin, sex, machine guns, flamethrowers, murder. There's no story here. We've just found that ratings go up when we say those words.
Sean, first one you posted.
So it came out that Four Roses distillery is actually for sale. So yeah, they're I think it's Japanese owners are putting the distillery up for sale. Some of the news that we have for this month to kind of go through, a lot of it is dealing with American especially bourbon and what's happening down there. But yeah, that was a pretty eye-opening one. I don't think anybody saw that one coming, but maybe not up here. But yeah, that's the first piece of news.
I think the funny part that, and again, not funny that someone's losing their job. We're not making light of that, but that we wrote 4 roses is for sale and we spelled for FOUR. That is finding some lightness in the situation. And I appreciate that. But again, not laughing that 400 people might be losing their job. That is not funny.
No, agreed.
But you're right. And maybe I'll just go down the line because MGP, the big bourbon and rye producer, their third quarter income, they're down 35%. So again, this is kind of going back to the American whiskey scene and maybe some troubled waters ahead. Here's another one. Bourbon inventories in Kentucky have hit a record high 16.1 million aging barrels.
That's in one state.
So that might sound like a good thing, like, oh, they're making lots of bourbon. No, it means
they're not selling any.
They produced a lot for the demand, and maybe now the demand is kind of dropping. And again, here's another one. Brown-Forman is downsizing by 12%. So that's Jack Daniels, Woodford Reserve, and they're also completely dropping their cooperage in Kentucky, which was like a big tourist thing. And so they're going to be outsourcing all of their barrels now instead of doing them themselves. So again, just more and more kind of signs that this market is kind of getting to a bit of an interesting spot. And then Sean, I think it's probably tied in, but how much Blanton's just landed in Alberta?
Yeah, so got news over the weekend that 5,000 cases of Blanton's landed at AGLC. Basically, the entire Canadian allocation that would have went to BC, Ontario, maybe New Brunswick or Quebec. Basically, all of their stuff came to Alberta. So they had obviously like truckloads of Blanton's sitting in the warehouse. Kind of went live for stores to start pulling, but they capped it. So a single store couldn't pull more than 500 cases at one time. But we've already started to see a couple stores posted. There's people posting in the Whiskey Forum Facebook page pictures at Costco where they have a full pallet of cases of Blanton's just sitting there. Blanton's has been pretty good, Travis, like you said, of kind of keeping that rarity and keeping that, when Blanton's did drop, that people would run out and get it. I mean, it is what it is. Blanton's, it's a $75 bourbon at best. But now we're going to have like a huge amount of it sitting on store shelves, and it's probably going to sit there for a while. A lot of the stores are selling it for, anywhere from 70 to 85, 90 bucks. So the prices aren't going to come down unless they sit there for months and months and months and then maybe get cleared out. But yeah, I mean, when I heard that, I was shocked. 5,000 6-packs. That's insane.
It's crazy.
Hey, if you want to get all your letters, now's the time.
What they say, you could get how many cases per store?
500.
Like that's a good year for PWS Canada wide.
Totally.
That's a good year.
Yeah,
totally. 500 cases.
Bottles.
Yeah.
Man. Jerry, you've done some photos, or at least you've been sent samples from Grainhenge. I don't know if you want to do that Grainhenge news note there.
Grainhenge, is that in our spreadsheet?
Yeah, maybe Sean can do it. I've been sent lots of samples. Remember when Grainhenge, they released their first ever whiskey and it actually like blew a lot of us away. They're in Red Deer.
Yes.
I think it was their first 3 releases were insane for 3-year-old single malt. The first one like sold out in a weekend. Second one took a little bit longer but still sold out. And then they kind of, I think they did a bourbon style for Wine and Beyond.
Yeah.
And then they released Arrowhead, which was their rye. And last week, literally, they got named World's Best Rye at the 2025 World Whiskey Awards, or maybe is the IWSC awards. But yeah,
It was the world's best rye at the 2025 World Whiskey Awards. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't tried that specific one, but I mean, geez Louise, I'm not saying it's not a good rye. It's gotta be better rye out there, you would think.
Well, I mean, it's the Canadian rye stereotype, I think, when a lot of these people, especially if they're judging over in Europe or the UK, where, you know, they get the big name ryes that may not even be made with rye. And then when they actually get 100% rye whiskey from Canada, it kind of blows them away because they're not
Interesting.
used. There's another one. This is where I got IWSC awards. Black Fox Distillery in Saskatchewan got crowned the worldwide producer of the year. So they're a small, tiny craft, doing things weird ways, aging stuff outside. Like I want to say it's a husband and wife, and the wife is like a super chemist or something. But yeah, I remember the guy was at Banff Whiskey Festival 2 years ago, and he was part of a panel, and he was kind of describing what they do, and I was blown away by like their methods and stuff. But yeah, they aimed for the world market, and obviously it worked, because to get that award at a huge award show in the UK or in London, maybe, yeah, that's crazy.
It's absolutely wild. I'm not surprised to see Greenhenge do well. That first release, I thought was like it blew a lot of people away. And then I think over the next like handful of releases from them, we saw I think there was a changeover in how they were doing some things. So the first release was in the hands of like, dude, they sent that to a lot of people across Canada. So it was like talk of the town. Second release was also very good. I liked the first one better. Sean, I think you liked the second one more, if my memory serves.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
And then what I found from that point is like the bar had been set so high that when their bourbon style came out, I was just kind of like, meh, yeah, I guess it's fine.
Yeah, when you're doing small batches like that, they're gonna be hit and misses, but it's just cool. They're directly halfway between Calgary and Edmonton. We had the master distiller, I can't remember his name offhand, but on our
Garrett,
on our Lost in Translation pat, and he's a brewer.
Yeah,
and he
exactly.
Distilling, like it's just it's awesome when you see brands like this doing well. Now, winning an award doesn't guarantee any further success. Like you get to put it out in your marketing and everything, but now you just got to find a way to get it into stores. And I know they've, like every small distillery, it's not easy. And I know they've had their struggles, but hopefully this gets them onto a few more shelves, winning a big award like that. So, Jared, you have something highlighted in green here. I think I highlighted in green, but just a quick little announcement for
you. Did too. Recording day today is my middle daughter's 13th birthday. So I have 2 teenagers now in the house, which is crazy. And I even
happy birthday, Ellie.
Some cake.
Happy birthday.
Sean, you want to just quickly mention the Bruichladdich 7-year-old rye that's coming out?
Yeah, so I didn't really know much about this, but yeah, they launched a 7-year-old rye whiskey. It's 55% rye and 45% barley, and I believe all the grain is grown on Islay. So yeah, that's pretty cool as well.
And last but not least, and I guess we can maybe let our guests know that we're close.
I just did.
You don't have to do that, Sean. For people listening, Sean is still wearing a Dodgers jersey. Like even the Dodgers aren't wearing Dodgers jerseys anymore. And then Sean's still just rubbing it in like the poor winner he is. Yeah. They've started now. Their Instagram page is rolling. And Aberargie Distillery is launching next year. And I'm really excited about this distillery because my first job in the industry, I worked with the Morrison Distillers family, got to know, different members of the family as well as the different people associated with the company. They have been making whiskey for like almost 9 years, I believe. I think it's 2016, I think, is when they opened the distillery. And They're kind of close to Springbank in the sense that they're doing almost everything on site except malting the barley. They are growing their own barley. They're bottling on, like, it's a really cool operation, and just kind of wanted to give them a little shout out, because when you have to wait 9 years and you're finally starting to release like images of the farm and the distillery, it's just an exciting time for people that I actually know a little bit. So we'll have more news on them as they get closer to launching.
It's very cool. All right. Should
exciting.
we get James on here?
I mean, I got a bone to pick with them, but it's going to be a little awkward.
let's do it. I'm excited to have James on, man. Okay.
You know what? Good for him for coming on and being brave, because he took some shots. He took some shots last episode.
Did he listen to it?
I mean, probably not.
He might not even know.
I know my mom did, and she's like, I don't even know what you guys are talking about, but I love it because you're my son. And I was like, thanks, Mom.
That's the best.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
All right, here we go.
Please like, follow, and subscribe, Mom. She's like, I don't know how to like, follow, and subscribe.
All right, here he is.
Wow.
James, great to see you, man.
Are we wearing the same hoodie? Oh, we are.
Well, that was the text I sent you.
He's like, we're going to end this feud once and for all. We're going to wear the same hoodie for the podcast.
Sean and I are also wearing the same item of clothing, but we'll leave that for another podcast. Yeah. It's not a
thongs.
Boys, how's the podcast treating you?
Wait, you
Is this
said
number 3? Did I make it in the top 10?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my
Top
God.
10. Episode number 3. Now, to be completely and very honest, you were last minute fill-in. So don't let it get to your head,
That's the
James.
story of my whole life, Travis.
We did announce on the last podcast that Tim Hobbit from now Dylan's Distillery would be joining, but he's probably making rye or something. I don't know. So, but we
I'm
thought,
sure you've discovered that if you back up enough guests, it will keep you motivated to keep recording. So, smart move.
totally, and it
Very
did.
true.
It did tie in well with us, basically. Well, me trash talking you the whole last episode to bring you on and clear the air. And get
No,
this friendship back on track.
I did brief Sean and Jeremy beforehand that we were not to talk about the upcoming event that is not including you. Upset story.
I'm just gonna let.
I can't wait for that. I can't wait for that flight to Vancouver. Be so much fun.
Yeah, I know. Inevitably, when someone gives me the keys to another really cool Gordon MacPhail event, I think that I'm gonna have to mail out some boxes of Kleenexes to my peers. I still can't
Honestly,
believe they let me do that, Sean. That they just let me invite like friends from across the country and just drink 80-year-old whiskey together.
So cool.
just really
Like
good friends.
the warm up cocktail was a 21-year-old Ben Romick.
Oh, is
in a
that right?
cocktail.
Is that right? I bet that was.
Yeah, I mean, I will admit that was not my idea. The bartender, when we were talking about it, was like, "What's the oldest whiskey I can make a cocktail with?" I think he just like totally understood what we were trying to do, and that we were just trying to have fun, and maybe be a little bit of a twist from the usual kind of white tablecloth whiskey dinner.
I got that right there above my finger. This little black box.
Yeah, needless to say, poor Jeremy missed the timing by a little bit, but
Oh, Jeremy was invited too.
That's okay. No, I didn't make the event, but I worked with James on photographing the bottle.
oh,
And the only reason I've tasted it is because of Reese Sims.
mhm.
So when she heard that I had done all of that photography project and I hadn't tasted it, she was like, I have a third of my sample. I'll send it to you. So she sent me the whole box. It's back in my closet. She's a gem.
You all have
I
the
think-
box.
I think that was, when I first heard about the 80-year-old and heard that I would get sample liquid, and that kind of was the obvious thought, is that I could kind of sense that there were some people in my company and even in G&M that kind of wanted to be like maybe a bit of a glory tour where we like invite potential buyers and, try to basically fill the room with like wealthy, high net collector types. And I don't know, I'll be honest, like I immediately wanted to find a way to just like get people a chance to try it. Like, I hate this idea that I've tried an 80-year-old whiskey and then I hang out with people that like are never going to get to do that. Like that, because I mean, why do you carry a whiskey in a cask for 80 years? Like, obviously not everyone can try it, right? Clearly that's going to be the case. But like, if enough people can try it, it kind of like, it puts everything in this different context. Like, everything you know about whiskey changes if you can try an 80-year-old whiskey. And if not, if you can, talk to 2 or 3 people that have and can explain it for you, like it just puts everything in a different context. And I think we kind of achieved that. It took the mystery out of it and it kind of made it real.
Yeah, I would say that three out of 4 people on this podcast have tried it. So the odds that you get to try it are actually pretty high.
I mean, 75% was a B, and that got me through life, Travis.
Oh man,
yeah.
It's James. I got a question for you. How did you like get into whiskey? Period.
Yeah, good question. A little bit of luck for sure.
Okay.
Usually the story that I share, like if I do, public tastings and stuff, it's kind of a distilled version of kind of several events. But kind of, I think the main thing is I worked with some partners, including a family member. In about 2004, we launched this website. It was called The Aspiring Gentleman. And the idea at the time, I mean, in hindsight, it sounds kind of cliche, but at the time, there wasn't really a lot of men's interest stuff out there. And we really kind of thought that like someone should be promoting kind of, the idea was like lost traditions in men's culture. And so, again, it sounds super cliche now. It's almost a little bit cringy, really. But, we were like 22 years old, and we thought like, yeah, what's cool is like cigars and scotch, and like, no one in our generation does that anymore. And maybe we should like promote it a little bit. And, they kind of recruited me to do kind of some wine and especially whiskey reviews. And I mean, I had no idea what I was doing. In fact, you can still find these reviews on aspiringgentleman.com. They're terrible. But I basically, we kind of just discussed it, and it was okay. Pick some bottles off your shelf, write what you think about it, and post it on this site. And I kind of lucked out in a way, in that at the time there was a lot of, there certainly was plenty of media out there. There was a lot of blogs about whiskey out there. And, things like Whiskey Magazine were still around, right? There was those types of things. But there wasn't a lot of websites that were like explicitly reviewing whiskey. And I think we kind of lucked out in that regard. And some of the reviews that we posted early on were like if you Google Glenmorangie, for instance, there was a point where we were the number 3 hit on Google. And that was like almost immediately. So it kind of just, I don't know, it kind of just like kickstarted my interest. And, we started getting contacted by agencies in the US and stuff. And I remember my brother got, who was one of the partners in the site, he got in the mail this box that said golf balls on it. And like when it rattled, it sounded like golf balls. But what do you think was inside?
80-year-old Gordon MacPhail.
I'm gonna go sample bottle,
Travis. It kind of like jingles like angelic bells when you. It was every Dalmore release. So some rep, the White Mackay rep in the US, had sent us like every Dalmore release that they had on offer up to the 52-year-old SETI was in this box. So yeah, just opened some cool doors, and then actually I left a separate career, and had an opportunity where someone that I knew, because I worked part-time at a liquor store, just as, kind of became a hobby and a passion. And I got to know a rep that worked for a small agency, and she contacted me that, her and her husband were expecting a baby, and they were looking for someone to cover the maternity leave. She thought that I would know someone through the store, but I kind of just had the light bulb moment of, maybe this is an opportunity to like just dabble, was really what I was thinking. And yeah, that was 20 years ago, and I kind of never left. And, the really what they were looking for was someone that knew whiskey, because they were launching a new brand at the time that was really kind of like very controversial, and they kind of thought maybe they would need to sell it kind of differently, and it was called Berklady. So and no one had ever heard of that. So it was good timing for sure.
I'll just add that all good whiskey careers start in some small liquor store. Like the amount of people that just started just kind of a few shifts a week at a liquor store, including myself, but I know several others. It's just kind of how you get your feet wet.
Oh yeah, the people that I met in the liquor store that I worked at, it was Liberty Wines. It was in Point Grey, and then eventually I moved to the one in South Surrey. But like I remember walking in there the first time, and I used to have to wait when I would change buses, and there'd be like 5 guys that were a couple years older than me, and they were all just like drinking something crazy all the time. And I was like, this is really interesting. Like I want to know more about this. So
going from that, the humble beginnings, how did you end up in your current role with Authentic Wines? And do you want to maybe explain to people that may not know what your actual title is with Authentic Wines?
Yeah, I've kind of a silly job title. It's way too many words, but essentially, truthfully, probably the best distillation of it is I am the Massey brand ambassador, which is an Italian winery that sells some really, really fantastic wines from Northeast Italy, Amarone, if you're familiar with that. I know Sean's a fan, but that role isn't really full time, and so as part of that, I do a lot of other education and basically like brand ambassador work for the brands that we represent, which kind of are too small to have like in market representatives of their own. So yeah, we do Billy Walker's Glenallachie and Gordon MacPhail, which includes of course Ben Romank and the Kilkerran, and Kilcolman, Wolfburn, Compass Box. Yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, when I moved to this company, though, I mean, basically the experience I had with Berklady, I think kind of translated really well. And when I moved here, we had other distilleries, which at the time were independent family owned, but have been since purchased, which is White Mackay, which of course got purchased by Imperador. And then Benrique and Glendronach, which was also purchased. So I've had 3 moments in my career where I thought it was over because I got a phone call saying like, that cool whiskey you sell isn't cool anymore. And I mean, you can imagine I know maybe that hasn't happened specifically, but I bet that's part of business, right? And, we could get a call one day that, Jeff Bezos bought Springbank and Elon bought Ardnamurchan and Gordon MacPhail. And right? Like that happens in the whiskey business. I know it sounds like totally ludicrous, but the truth is that those types of things have happened a lot in the whiskey business. And I think it's just the nature of working with independents.
I think when you...
Sorry, how long have you been in your role?
13 years.
13, okay.
Yeah, I was very fortunate. Actually, when I was hired, I work out of Vancouver, but there was someone more senior than me that did kind of a similar role in Calgary, Jay Wheelock. I think all of you knew Jay. And so that was kind of like a mentor to me because, he couldn't always be in Vancouver. And, I kind of had some opportunities to, lead some classes and do some education for the team and my sales team, that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, had some good mentors along the way for sure.
I actually have a question about Jay later. I didn't know he would come up so quick, but I'm glad he did. But you just mentioned something about Berklady and saying that they were doing something different that you had to work. What was it like? What was it that was like so different at the time?
Yeah, I mean, obviously most of us, when we think about whiskey, we don't think about the sales portion, and we just know that everybody we know loves whiskey. But in some of the early days, like before the fad really took off, like think about in 2010 going out and trying to sell someone the first bottles of Octomore. Like people thought we were crazy. They really did.
Right.
Like imagine, Travis, if you went on your Instagram and said, one of our whiskey brands, I won't say which one because we won't throw anyone under the bus. We're doing a collaboration and we're launching a whiskey that smells exactly like Mr. Clean, cleaning detergent. People would be like, you're an idiot. Like what? Like that's stupid. No one thinks that's a good idea. I mean, that's exactly what people thought about Octomore. when it launched. And I was like, no, but you should really spend $100 on this thing that smells like dead animals.
100 would be a steal now.
I still don't know what the sales pitch is now. Like,
Yeah, well, not at the current prices, but
Yeah.
you have. So I mean, you and I chat about this often because we're in the same sort of not same role, I will say, but we do the same sort of thing in terms of represent brands. But you have like some brands that I consider some of the best brands in the entire industry, and I'm not saying that they're easy brands to work with necessarily and to move. But like Gordon MacPhail, Compass Box, Kilhoman, and just I get the question I wrote down is like, what's it like having like some of the most respected brands in the industry, and whether or not, and I know Compass Box isn't necessarily always the easiest sell, but Compass Box is still regarded by the whiskey geeks at the very least as like on a mantle, right?
To be honest, I don't know exactly where Compass Box is going, but I actually think there could be a pretty wild kind of 5-year span ahead of Compass Box. We'll see if it all works. I hope it does for them, but I think it's actually going to get kind of wild and crazy, if I'm being honest. But you'll see. Just keep one eye on Compass Box. That's all I'll say.
I get all the emails from the Blenders Room or whatever that membership is.
Yeah, there's some people involved now that like are pretty ambitious, but not just like money ambitious, but like kind of have the crazy gene, which I think you kind of need to be successful in the business. So when all these changes happened, at first I was kind of nervous, and the more I've learned, the more I'm like, you know what? Compass Box has like 50,000 casks in their warehouse. Like they have more than Gordon MacPhail. Like they're well positioned. I think there could be some cool stuff coming down the pipe. But
SMWS has 18,000 or so. Just friends.
Yeah,
like 50,000 is crazy.
Yeah. To be honest, that number could be inaccurate, but I did hear that from someone that worked in the business several years ago. So, but it's not zero. Let's put it that way. But the way I'd frame it, Travis, I kind of understand your perspective. I think, when you kind of understand the relationship between the company that I work for and these distilleries, it makes a little bit more sense how these companies or how these different distilleries fit together, like G&M and Glenallachie. So our company is owned by the Hobbs family, which if any of you are into whiskey history, I strongly recommend that you go and look up the history of Joseph Hobbs, who's a Canadian and really one of like the big historical figures of the Scotch whiskey business. But of course, in Canada, we don't like to pull people down when they're successful. And I think that's probably true a little bit of the Hobbs family history. But yeah, really, really crazy history. In fact, there's a really great history book out there. I think it's called Just Another Joe or Not Just Another Joe. Highly recommend if you're into whiskey history. He wrote he built the Marine building downtown, which is one of the kind of the famous buildings in the Vancouver skyline. It was the tallest building in the world for a while. But more importantly, he owned a lot of distilleries, including Ben Romick. Anyways, his family still owns the distributor. They no longer own distilleries to distribute Scotch in Scotland, but they own distributor here in Canada. So that's who I work for. So there's kind of this unique relationship between these companies in Scotland. I'm sure you've noticed, Travis, there's kind of like, when you think about the independents and the small companies in Scotland, there definitely is a little bit of a divide where there's certain ones where it's like, there's just a lot of passion and it's like, hold on to the reins and see where it takes us. And then there's other types where it really is like a really more of a business founding. Like often, Billy Walker is a good example of this, right? Like you can kind of tell that he got his start in a big corporate environment like Chivas and Ballantines because, he's not just like they're having fun. Like it really does feel like he has a really good business sense. And that's definitely true of Kilchoman and Gordon MacPhail as well. So, I think that's essentially how it works is that there's kind of this nice mix between the passion and that family history and kind of the business acumen. I know it sounds kind of boring, but
it's not.
I think just a lot of like shared values.
And it's kind of crazy that I named several of those brands and I left out Ben Romick and Glenallachie. Just like when I brought it up, I was like, oh shit, I didn't mention two another great other brands. So it's very cool. And I think they are brands that we're not talking like Buffalo Trace or like Glenlivet or like that type of level. they're still small, and like I look at them as big because I'm a whiskey enthusiast, like everyone else listening. But these are still small brands that still have struggles, I'm sure, in certain markets.
For sure. I mean, honestly, like I do events, and just recently, like I did an event that was half Ben Romick, half Glenallachie, because those are our two best sellers. And I asked the room, which was 36 people, like who's had a Ben Romick or a Glenallachie before? 0 people put their hands up, right? It's still new. Like you forget that like these brands have been in the market less than 5 years, well, about 5 years. And a lot of the big brands have been in the market for like over 50, some of them. They're kind of, they feel very relevant to us, but it's still very new. But that's what makes it exciting. So
yeah, that's very cool. Okay,
all right. So we touched. Go, Jer. Go.
No, you go.
I was just going to say, now that we touched on Kilchoman is now one of your brands in your portfolio, so you can't pick that one anymore. But what's your favorite distillery outside of your brands? Like your go-to?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, maybe not for their core range today, but although I think it sometimes gets unfairly cited, but I've always definitely had a soft spot for Highland Park. Something about the aromatic profile and just, I don't know, I love it. It's just, it charms me. And I'm fortunate now. That means through Gordon MacPhail, like we get some spectacular Highland Park bottlings that come through. In fact, there's a club in BC that bottled the 25-year-old Highland Park that I only allowed them to take half because I wanted to make sure that we could share half of it with other people. But that's probably the obvious answer. I mean, it would be easy to say like, oh yeah, I love Springbank and blah blah blah. But yeah, Highland Park is definitely has a history for me.
That's very cool. So it's James, you have like many years in the industry. You've gotten to try some incredible whiskeys. Do you have a desert island dram?
Oh boy. Yeah, that's a good question.
While you're thinking about it, I just want to point out that we spelled desert wrong, or properly, sorry, not wrong. 1 S in desert. Whoever filled out the spreadsheet, I just want to give kudos.
So
that's a tough one. That's a tough one.
A language arts teacher that made a huge impact on my life told me once the easiest way to remember is a desert and dessert. You always want more dessert than desert, so there's always more S's in it.
That's exactly how
I used to have it sorted in my head, but now that Sean said that, I'm now permanently confused. You made it worse, Sean. I'm now going to mess it up because I don't know. Can't we just trust the autocorrect on our texting to fix it for us?
Yeah, that's what I do.
Right?
James, just answer the question. What's your dessert island?
Yeah. So yeah, if I was to characterize like whiskeys that I love, is when you get those like old single malts that kind of don't have a lot of wood influence and just kind of taste like they have that like citrusy tropical fruit character. To me, that's like the real magic.
We had Brewer 35 the other night.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, that has a bit of that character for sure, right?
Little peacock feathers here.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, that's right up there. Yeah, I was fortunate. Even over, I mean, again, I got to try the 80. It was wonderful, but there was one of the G&Ms that I tried with Richard was the most recent and the last in that set of Mr. George Glen Grants from the 1950s. So the 5th edition, I mean, it was just off the charts. I'd never had anything quite like that. I mean, yeah, when you have those old G&Ms, and even if you haven't had the 80, to be honest, like anything over 40 years old, they all kind of taste similar. Like, let's be honest. There's just this like explosion of energy. Like you kind of think it's going to be a little bit tired and dusty, and nothing could be further from the truth. Like those whiskeys are just like, they are alive and vibrant and like pulsing with flavor and energy. It's just hard to describe. And that Mr. George number 5 to me like was the most like that. Like it was just gripping on your palate and attention grabbing and just this, like you said, a peacock tail of flavor. And that, it's cool when you have whiskeys that you can almost like close your eyes and you can still taste them. Right. I think we all have a few of those.
Yeah.
It's funny because you like you said, you think they're going to be like old and dry and kind of dusty. And again, the Brewer 35 that we were fortunate enough to try the other night had these beautiful fruity notes that you're like, how are you hiding in that cask? for that long and not just
No.
and they just pop. It's
Yeah.
such a cool, and these guys, everyone knows I love old refill bourbon cask whiskeys. That's like,
Yeah, it's the best.
that's my sweet spot. That's
Yep.
anyone can make a heavily sherried whiskey. Not everyone can, that
Totally.
refill bourbon.
Yeah, that's the thing is faking that isn't possible, right? Like you have to you have to do it the hard way.
Yeah.
I think actually for our generation as whiskey drinkers that all kind of came in the last boom, we have that benefit of, we're going to grow up with all these distilleries like the Kilkerrans and Ben Romicks of the world that are making this higher quality spirit and aging it in good casks. And, I think that, as we kind of get to retirement and enjoy some of these old drams in our own old age, I think there's going to be, a lot of those whiskeys are going to come back because there's going to be a lot like better quality malts out there that are taken care of better. And I'm pretty optimistic that we're going to be like treated really well by the business.
Well, we just talked about all the issues down south right now in the stocks and the companies cutting back and everything. And in the end, hopefully in the whole industry, it means that we can get some older whiskey for better values in the next 10, 15 years, which would be.
Yeah. Gordon MacPhail is already all over that bandwagon. I'm sure you'll see even this week, like we have some whiskeys that are like over 40 years old that are coming in like well under $2,000, which it's still a lot of money. Like, let's not kid ourselves, but it's back in that range where it's like, you know what, maybe with some buddies we can split this and have a fun night, and that's the way it should be. Like, it should hurt a little bit. I mean, it's 40-year-old whiskey, but it shouldn't be totally out of reach for people. Hopefully there's more of that kind of stuff that comes. And I'll certainly, I believe it's my role as an agent to advocate for the consumer. Like, obviously I'm here to make money for the businesses that I work for, but if it's irresponsible if I'm not also considering the consumer and realizing that, I want the business to be healthy from both ends. And people like me, like our role, Travis, is to be the intermediary between, people that wake up every day and their pillow is like 2 feet from the still, and us who has a buddy that drinks, whiskey X that we don't respect, right? So we have to find a way to bridge that.
A good example, we have a Bowmore 21 coming, a single cask, and I got the price from the supplier. We converted it. We did all our calculations, got our wholesale, and then I went to these guys and some other friends and just said, what would you be okay paying? Because I just wanted to make sure that it was something that they would still feel comfortable. Obviously, it's going to be a decent number because it's a 21-year-old Bowmore. But what are you comfortable paying for a 21-year-old bourbon? Or sorry,
do you want me to answer that and then see how close we are?
No, I'd rather you didn't. Well, maybe, yeah, go for it.
Well, because what we
actually do. Yeah,
I think I actually have one up here. Right, hold on one sec.
Yeah, this is actually a very good experiment.
I'm going to brag a bit. So you remember
the Aston Martin?
This was. You remember what this was when it released? I think it was about $650, right?
Yeah, way back, it was ridiculous.
Yeah, and then you could get it on sale, I think, at the best, maybe for like $450.
Yeah.
But
and what is it now?
I don't know. The highest maybe I've seen it is like 800.
Yeah.
Holy.
Which is nonsense.
Yeah.
But what would be the price if I saw this on the shelf that I'd be like, that's a must? And it's probably $350.
Yeah. Well, I think we're close.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's not a single cask either, is it?
No, it's not.
And what's the ABV on those?
Yeah, it seems like it's maybe one of those slightly watered down type versions. I think it's about 51.
Yeah. So again, and I'm right in with you in that. Sorry, Jerry, go.
No, in Alberta, I Googled it, and depending on what store, obviously, anywhere from 600 on sale right now to 1,200 or 1,130. So depending if you get it on sale or not, you're paying either 600 for limited time offer, or one store has it on sale from 1,100 down to 9,999, and then the highest one I see is 1,129.99.
Yeah.
How's that make you feel?
Yeah. The moral of the story is, I mean, we've seen the full range, right? I mean, I'm excited if the whiskey producers that I know and love and that I work with, if they can like, afford to pay off their mortgage, that's exciting for me too. But again, my job is to be an advocate on both sides.
Yeah.
Right.
And I want the entire business to thrive. And part of that is making sure that people continue to buy whiskey. So I think absolutely am an advocate for the consumer as much as for the brands.
I'm in chat groups that are extremely active, which you are in as well, where we see what the enthusiasm for releases and stuff like that. But I know that you are out there communicating with the drinkers on a regular basis, just like I am. And that's what you do that a lot of other people in your role don't. And it's advocating for them and being like, I know what these people are comfortable paying for these products. Right.
And likewise, I know that, if an 18-year-old Kilkerran comes in and it's, that was over $300 retail, but it's sold out instantly because everyone understands that bottle is worth that. Mm-hmm. Right. But at no point did anyone who bought that think like, man, the Wilfs family is like gouging us here. No, they just know that they have great liquid and that this is what it's worth. And that's how it should work.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I keep chiming in on top of my last question. So, Jerry, or someone do the next one. I keep adding on to my.
We're over 10 minutes again, guys.
Yeah, I know we're getting there. Now. We're close. All
right. I'll just double down on the last question with your favorite not in your portfolio. What is one distillery or brand that you think is highly underappreciated or falls off the radar when it comes to the whiskey drinkers?
Bushmills.
Ooh, love that answer. Well,
you know what the problem is if we had Causeway Collection in Canada, people would be going nutso.
100%.
For it.
100%.
I know.
We did get one, right? We got the convict one.
Travis, I got to ask you, how the heck did you get the Mikel single cask?
How did I get a what?
That Mikel single cask.
Oh, we ordered it right from the distillery.
I don't even have one.
Yeah, we got networks of whiskey nerds, James.
Did you do that just to troll me because it's working?
I did not. It's just in my Mikel Tour section that you're going to present those at the club at some point.
I know.
I got six of them now. How about an underappreciated or undervalued brand in your portfolio? I think I know the answer, but
yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of a complicated answer. Yeah, the easy thing to say would be Wolfburn, which we do represent. And my feelings about Wolfburn is that, Wolfburn is absolutely as great as the other, crop of young distilleries. It deserves a spot amongst them. I think, it has a few tough things that probably work against it a little bit. Number one is the releases have been a little bit more confusing, and they do a lot of really interesting stuff sometimes that's like single cast and small batch stuff that's more available in Europe that we don't see here as much. The other thing that I think is important is like they don't really have a great visitor center. Like people don't go and visit Wolfburn because it's the middle of nowhere, right? Like
it's small too,
and it's small.
It looks like a
shed.
Yeah, it looks like a camp trailer that I've stayed in many.
Like if you think about one of the trendiest and like hottest distilleries is Dornoch, which is also in a shed, but they're right beside like one of the best golf courses in the world, right? Like Wolfburn doesn't really have that going for it. The other thing too is the style of Wolfburn. Like think of the distilleries that are around it. Pulteney, Scapa, Highland Park. None of those distilleries, you're like, man, they're great at 8 years old. That's like those are whiskeys that need time, right? It's cold up there. You just need like those casks to be like battered by salt for like at least 2 decades, and then they come around. And I think Wolfburn will be like that too. Yeah.
We had our first ever Scotch Club Wolfburn last weekend at our Christmas event. Mm-hmm. It was the Christmas release, single malt, non-age statement, whatever. Just a very nice drinking whiskey. That was first one the club ever did. Everyone's like, yeah, it's just a nice single malt, but it doesn't blow you away because it's not 20 years old. But it's
and look, this is the challenge. For us in Canada here, a lot of these new distilleries, again, they're in that category of Wolfburn where they're absolutely worthy. They're great quality juice, but there is not room for everybody. There isn't, unfortunately. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, I know our one sponsor that we have on our show, Whiskey Drop, they're huge fans of Wolfburn. they had the 4-pack, the minis, and I blended the Morven and something else, maybe a little bit heavier peated one, and the two of them blended together was amazing.
Yeah, lightly peated Wolfburn, especially at this age, is wonderful stuff.
So I got a question. When you do present the Meikle Tours, are you going to be brandishing the sword like last time?
Yes. I actually think I have a
I don't even know where that sword came from.
I know. Yeah. Thankfully, it was dull. We would have killed people. I know. There's something about drinking scotch and holding a sword that feels right. I don't know what it is.
I really
It's
believe
in our
that.
DNA, right?
Yeah.
In our DNA. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, Meikle Tour is another one of those fun ones. I can't wait to taste an 18-year-old Meikle Tour one day. But these young ones, they're fun. They're sassy, right? Like those 6-year-old single casks. Spoiler alert, there's one coming to Canada. It's a Victoria Whiskey Festival bottling that, ironically, because of our friends at the BC Liquor Board striking, isn't going to make it in time. But but it'll be in Alberta before Victoria.
I was just going to say anything that doesn't
6-year-old
anything that doesn't
heard it here first.
as Blanton's proved, anything that doesn't sell anywhere else in Canada, just ship it to Alberta.
I
We'll
know.
buy it.
Yeah, 1,000 cases, by the way.
5,000 in Alberta landed last
5,000?
week.
Oh, I heard 1,000. Jeez.
Ontario, BC, and I think New Brunswick all sent their whole allocation to Alberta.
Yeah. Okay. Fun.
Wild. I'm excited about that though. The Meikle Tour lineup, I am a huge fan of that stuff.
Yeah, these single casks, there's something, I mean, we all understand this, even if it's any young peated whiskey, like a 6-year-old heavily peated malt from a PX cask at 60%, like we are all saying yes to that. Like we just understand, like that combination just creates good things. So,
and the fact that it's not $400 Canadian is also a
it's
plus.
like under 150 on the shelf.
Yeah, that's wild. So awesome.
Yeah. Billy knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
I know, it was like 44 years ago, and we were talking, and you said that there was rumblings that his legacy wouldn't be in sherry, it would be in peat, and now we're starting to see that come to fruition.
Yeah, I had tasted 3-year-old cask samples because they always talked about at the end, they always kept a cask of Meikle Tour for the end of the tour, and that's how the last thing you taste before you left. And, people were begging to buy it all the time. So I told David at the time, who's the export director, I'm like, just bring me something. I want to taste it. So
crazy.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah. You know what? It feels like a good addition to the whiskey space.
It is. It's and again, I'm saving them up, and we'll have you back for a Scotch Club tasting. You can bring a sword, sharp or dull, and come and hang out with us again. We should get going here because last time we kept Caitlin way too low. I actually, after listening to that podcast, I blame Caitlin. She was just too nice. She just kept answering her dumb questions.
Well, you start hearing that accent, and you're just like,
Yeah, it's just 100%. Like, how do you not want to talk to her for 2 hours? If you go back in Lost in Translation, Sean said when we had her on the podcast, it was like a 2-hour interview. We kept talking, but we won't do that to you. I know you got places to be and events and not invite me to.
Time to put the oldest kid to bed.
Yeah, all that parenting stuff that we share in common. The last, and I know you mentioned him earlier, but the other night at every single Edmonton Scotch Club event, we mentioned Jay Wheelock. He's our honorary guest director of actually knowing stuff about Scotch, because he was the first guy that came to an event that actually knew what he was talking about.
Yeah.
But do you because you and I have talked about this a little bit, but how did he impact you early on in your, I know he was a mentor.
One very, very specific way, I would say. I'm lucky. I also had a bit of a base of knowledge and worked for Berklady before I even knew who Jay was.
Yeah.
But to me, what Jay brought is that, we still struggle with this in the business, that there is a lot of marketing money involved in our business. And one of the byproducts of that is, you get the brand ambassadors and the presentations and the material that's very much, we all know kind of what it looks like, right? It's like well-fitting suits talking about bubbling rivers and the heather blowing in the wind. Like we all hate that, right? At the end of the day, like we understand that that's part of it, but we don't need it. And I think like Jay just had this unbelievable way of just like almost living as if that didn't exist, that part of the business. Like he was just not even unaffected by it. He was just totally immune to it. And it was like, I think a lot of people probably would see Jay present and had never seen whiskey just presented in such a naked form in terms of it was just like, oh, like all this layers of BS that we're just all used to and that we just kind of take for granted. And like, it's all gone. Like it was remarkable how he was able to do that. And it's kind of like kept me pointed in that right direction that like, working in the whiskey business is a privilege, and it's like not just a paycheck. It's like, there's a lot of history that we're respecting and, people's livelihoods. And, like I want to be a part of that. And so, Jay just showed the way to do it. I mean, I can't do it the way that Jay did. That's not possible, but at least it kind of keeps the moral clarity pointed in the right direction. Just having that example.
He came to our first ever tasting. No one knew who this guy was. Just this big guy in a sport coat, no tie. Rarely, I don't think ever.
I never saw him wear a tie.
And he gets up in front of the room, 30 people in this tiny hall, and just starts telling this story. And it was like a 5-minute story. And in the end, it ended up just being this whole joke about like this homeless dog. And the whole room was friggin' roaring in laughter. And it was just like from that moment on, he was part of it and he got it. And, it was just like, this guy kind of, he gets us, right? And
right.
So I'd show you this.
Yeah.
I mean, you've seen this, but
that's so cool.
I love
that you did that. I think at the end of the day, like what is so great about just the whole Canadian whiskey community is, there is an air of authenticity. And that's what kind of keeps, to me, that's like what makes it all work. And Jay was kind of the genesis of that ethos.
Totally agree. And we cannot say it enough how amazing the whiskey community is in this country. And we're like you said, all of us lucky to be part of it.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Thanks so much, James. Appreciate you coming.
Peace.
We'll see you at that event in a couple weeks.
Yeah, just don't tell Travis's wife either, because
don't worry. This comes out after the event's already done. It'll air after it. So,
James, James, we don't need any more comments from you. Don't put your kid to bed.
Just it's not as good as the 80 though, Travis. Don't worry. These guys.
See ya.
See, this whole time I thought it was that I don't dress well enough, but he's wearing the exact same hoodie as me tonight. Actually, I think mine's better. Mine's Lululemon. His looked like Reebok or something. Nothing wrong with Reebok, but Lululemon is like pretty much nicer.
Oh man,
Jesus!
He's such a beauty. I love that guy.
Yeah, he's the man. He's I mean, like he said, Jay Wheelock was a one of a kind, and James Bornn is a one of a kind, and he brings this calm, positive energy with no BS, and doesn't take the stuff too seriously, but takes it seriously enough to, like he said, like you're honored to be a part of it. You're honored to be in it, but let's not go too crazy at the same time, right? Let's not wear a tie to say that. Maybe.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, he's awesome, man.
Let's wear green hoodies, James. Next event, green hoodie event.
It's funny enough. I was wearing almost the exact same green hoodie, but mine's the Kilhoman one or Killoan one. But I took it off to put on this thing.
All right. Do we have intermission music for people that need bathroom breaks? Jared?
I could pee. We could just cut this out.
You just want to play Intermission by Offspring? Intermission.
Totally.
Do it.
All right. We're all back. We all took a pee break. Now let's pull the bung. Let's actually drink some whiskeys and let's talk about them. We're going to start with Springbank 10.
Springbank 10, Glen Scotia Victoriana, Kilkerran 12. I originally had Springbank 10 second. After tasting them, swapped it with the Victoriana. I think it's the right move.
I agree.
I agree.
Completely.
Sean or Jared, what are the details on this bottle?
Excellent question.
It's 10 years old. It's a single malt. It's from Campbelltown. It's Springbank Distillery.
All Campbelltown. All Campbelltown whiskey. Yeah. That's the theme.
So obviously the all the Springbank releases come out batched. So every year, every release, they are a little different in the casking. This year's 10-year-old is a combination of bourbon and sherry, 60% bourbon, 40% sherry. It's the entry level, 10 ppm parts per part per million, and 46%. And that's about all the information that we have. Roughly 100-ish to $110 in our market, depending where you get it.
And for the first time in a while, pretty available, like sitting on shelves for several weeks in Alberta, which is new.
I went to two stores this week, and they both had it on the shelf.
Yeah, and we'll mention it later, but same for the Kilkerran stuff.
Yeah.
Not Springbank 15; those are still disappearing. But some of the entry level bottles are sitting around, which wasn't happening 3 years ago.
Right.
Yeah, like the long row. I think they just call it long row peated, but we all know it as like the LV or whatever. Yeah. That one, it's been like a year or two that when it releases, it sits on the shelf for a bit. But yeah, for the first time in a long time, the 10s are readily available, sitting on shelves. It's crazy.
It's
right.
This is 40% sherry. How much sherry influence you guys pulling on this?
It's about 6th fill sherry. It's my guess.
I was like, it's some kind of refill for sure. I'm not pulling much at all.
No,
and I actually don't mind that because the 15 is a lot more sherry.
Right.
This is more like just a kind of, I don't want to say daily dram because it's $110, but it's not. Yeah, it's not Springbank 15.
Not especially
even.
this year. This year's 15 is sherry, and supposedly it's the same ratio, just reverse. The 15 is only 60% sherry, but it is dark and active cask. I'm guessing because I like it a lot.
So you guys, I tasted these blind. I sent you guys my notes on our chat, but I never actually put them in the spreadsheet. And then I just added some stuff tonight. But why don't you guys go first and tell people what you're thinking of this one? Because I think you guys have some fairly strong opinions on it.
Here, let me jump in on this. Let me jump in here.
Yeah, because you weren't here last week.
I actually get to drink the whiskeys this time.
And I have a story to go with mine. So yeah, go for it.
So Springbank in general, I enjoy Springbank. I've had some phenomenal Springbank releases, actually. I personally have never chased a single Springbank release. So I have never been like, I'm going to go out and I'm going to get this one. Like, it's very good whiskey. I'm not much of a chaser in general, actually. Like, it has to be something that is very, very special for me to go after. So I started sipping this one. It's a 46% 10-year-old for $110 in the Alberta market. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
So
basically single cask pricing.
So to me, it's like a fairly sharp 46% to me, which I wasn't necessarily expecting off the nose. Even nosing it now, it's like very pleasant, but you sip on it and it is fairly sharp. So here's where my brain immediately went on this. When I saw the price point, $110. I pulled out a Ben Romick 10-year and I sipped it after trying this one. In the market, in BC market, you can get that for $70 in BC. So and that's like beautifully balanced 10-year-old, like when I'm drinking the Ben Romick 10 that I bought for $70, I am feeling like I got my money's worth on that thing. I'm like, this is an awesome whiskey for $70. 10 years old. And
Before you go further, Jerry, I have to interject. James Bornn did not sponsor this episode.
he did not.
It's one of his brands. He just got off the phone with us, but he did not give us money. So this is just you tasting whiskey.
It's just me tasting whiskey. And it was after trying this, it was to me the most direct comparison that I had on my shelves. So, man, if I am given the option between this whiskey and the Benro 10, and there's a significant price difference, it's like, man, I'm picking the Ben Romick 10 all day long on this. To me, it's a little bit more balanced. Like, I really enjoy it.
If they were both $80, you're still taking the Ben Romick.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, you've actually gotten ahead of yourself here.
I know I have, but
this is not the buy or not buy segment, Jared. This is the review segment.
I understand, but I had to. Part of my review was comparing this one after I tasted it, because it really just kind of left me going like, $110. And I walked over to my shelves right away to be like, let's do a little comparison.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sean.
So quick story about Springbank 10. I remember back in the day, this is probably 5, 6 before pre-COVID. And back then Springbank sat on shelves for a little while. And I remember everybody raved about Springbank and was like, this is it. This is the best. So I was like, okay, I'll buy a 10-year and see where it was. That bottle of 10-year was like so bad. I drank a quarter of it and gave it away. And I might have been crazy because I obviously couldn't see the future and what was going to happen. But it was, like everybody raved about this funk and this, diesel note and this. And I was like, at the time, Lechag was what I would pull anytime I wanted something super funky. And that 10-year-old didn't even touch it. Now this one is better. This one's definitely a better expression of what I expect Springbank 10. But when I hear people that I respect in this industry across the world, and they, almost weekly are posting that this is the be all end all 10-year expression and entry level, and this is the best one in the world. But then you drink it, and I'm like, maybe I overhyped it myself, and it disappointed me. Now it's not bad whiskey. I'm not saying that at all.
Not at all.
But yeah, again, like the hype, the price, everything, the chasing it, like when everything is pulled into it, it's definitely not something that I would reach for very regularly. And like Travis, you probably get the credit for this more than anything. In the past 18 months, I've bought more Cambeltown whiskey than I had in the 10 years prior. But, I am starting to find my way with a lot of it. But yeah, the 10-year for me, it was like, if this is the entry and if this is what most people start with, I don't understand why they would go further. Maybe that's where I'll leave it.
So you guys know I'm a Springbank fan. I have a whole shelf.
Yeah.
Cool stuff. And every distillery has a number where there's stuff based on the way they make their whiskey and the way they cast their whiskey and the climate they matured in. And it just works at that age. And I think for Springbank, and I've sent you guys a sample of the 5-year 100 proof, which we're going to maybe try later, so we can see. But I think 12 years is probably it for Springbank at cask strength. Like the 12-year limited editions. But again, you're letting, typically those have sherry influence. A lot of sherry influence. Springbank 15 has a lot of sherry influence. This is the deepest I've dove into Springbank 10 in a long time, and I'm glad we did it. And the one thing I would point out is the texture is fantastic. It's got a really nice oily. I actually put my light under the bottle, and you can see some oil in there. I love that. But I'm having a hard time disagreeing with you guys on your overall thought on it in that regards. And I think that's okay. It is it's probably not $110 whiskey. I'm okay with them charging it because it keeps selling. So they're a business. They're doing what they got to do.
Totally.
Everything at Springbank that they do leads to it being a more expensive whiskey. It's like when we're telling people about Kilkerran in Ireland, we're like, well, they're very small. Well, Springbank's making what is it? I think they're making 260,000 liters a year. They could make 500,000. So they're doing half of their capacity annually they're producing. Right. So like they're still kind of creating this allure, which I love. They're doing everything on site. They got their direct fired stills. They got worm tubs. Everything's cool. The story's cool. The 10-year-old I think falls a little bit short of all of that. And that's okay.
Yeah. Now, I agree.
Like if you got the 10-year at maybe not even cask strength, like the Springer 5 that we're going to taste later, like it's 100 imperial proof, so that's 57.1. Even if you got the 10-year at 50%, it might shine through a bit. But again, like you said, every distillery has that sweet spot, and I think, like the romanticism about it, I get all that. Like it's the craziest place. You know, people that I love in this industry rave about, you know, making their own whiskey, but rave about going to Springbank and touring the facility there. And I get that part of it. Yeah, the 10's probably not something that I would reach for very often, especially when I have other Springbank adjacent whiskeys that I'm pulling from. And
we should say this. It says 40% sherry, but this tastes like almost exclusively a bourbon cask.
It really does.
Yeah. So it's almost a little deceiving to say 60-40. Not that it's not 60-40, but when you go to taste it, you're not going to get that sherry that you might even expect from 40%. And that's okay. I just had another big sip. It's still a really nice whiskey.
I was going to say,
really nice.
If I go over to a buddy's house and he pours this for me, I'm not mad about it at all.
I think your comparison to the Ben Romick is apt. I think saying the price point is probably a bit much. The hype is probably a bit much for this specific bottle.
Yeah.
All of that being said, wouldn't be disappointed to have this in my glass on almost any occasion.
Totally.
But just probably shouldn't be hyped up quite as much. But no one really hypes up the 10 either, though. Can we?
No, lots of people do.
Do they? Okay, maybe really? I'm missing that. Yeah.
I'll send you guys a post because it's like the guy posts it once a week about the 10 being, sends out a poll every time. Is this the best 10-year-old on the market?
Okay, send us that because I don't see that a ton. I see the 15. I love the 15. I literally have a bottle of 15 ready to go at all times. I think it's fantastic whiskey. It's got way more sherry. It's fun. But anyways, that's
it's funny. It's funny you talk about the casking because when we get to the third whiskey tonight, and you look at the casking of that, but obviously they're using different casks or whatever. But we'll get to that.
Yeah, let's move on to number 2. And again,
let's do it.
Jared, you missed all of last episode, so I kind of just want to let you. I think you just get to kick everything off.
So second whiskey is the Glen Scotia Victoriana. Stick your nose in that glass after drinking the Springer 10.
So much more going on.
So much character in here.
There's a lot.
So some details on this one. This is a 54.2% bottling. Matured in first and second fill bourbon. Finished for up to 12 months in a heavily charred bourbon barrel. And PX sherry butts before being married together for another 6 months. lots going on in the process. And I think as soon as you stick your nose in the glass, you can tell that there's a lot more going on with it.
It's funny. When I was talking with, again, Rachel at Whiskey Drop, we were talking about, she was asking my opinion about a tasting that she's putting together, and she wanted my opinion on a specific whiskey. And what I said to her is, I was like, there's so much going on with the different distillates and casking and stuff. It's like chaos in a glass. And going from Springbank to this has a little bit of chaos in it.
Yeah, man.
It has, so like the website describes this as a modern tribute to the traditional Victorian style Campbelltown whiskey. Victoriana symbolizes the ethos of Campbelltown as a whiskey making region, representing a bygone era and reflecting the Campbelltown of yesteryear. This, I don't know what Victoriana or Victorian style whiskey tasted like, but I'm like, when you sniff and taste this, you're like, I could almost picture whiskey from an older era. They've done a very good job of making it feel like a whiskey from like an older whiskey, if that makes sense.
Like, I'm jumping in my horse-drawn buggy and heading to Trav's shack to waddle through the mud and sip this whiskey.
And I was expecting this one to be the funkiest of the three, if I'm being completely honest. And we will learn that it was not the funkiest of the three for me.
Yeah.
I've never had this before.
Me either. It was my first time.
Honestly, I think the first and only time I've ever had this was like an after dram at a tasting probably 5 or 6 years ago. And I remembered it completely wrong, which is good because it's like I'm drinking it for the first time.
Jerry, you got some very detailed notes there, which I read and was impressed with.
Super detailed. Yeah, so my first time going through this, like the nose, super vibrant, it's lively. And this, so I poured these quite a bit before the podcast this time. So in my notes, I actually said I wish that like liveliness carried through to the palate a bit more. And then I threw an edit in my notes because I was like, actually, wait, the longer it sits in the glass, I'm getting more of it. And this time, because I poured it like an hour before we started, this is a lovely, lovely whiskey.
Mm-hmm. For $20 more than the Springbank 10.
$20 more than Springbank 10. I'm picking this every time.
Well, we're not supposed to talk about that yet, though, Jer.
I know. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so obviously I'd sipped it for the first time a couple nights ago, same time as Jeremy. Unknowingly, we did it at the same time. And I found at first, same thing, I didn't let it sit long enough. And this time I poured it an hour and a half before we actually started sipping it. And it carries through. What I found is that you get notes from the bourbon casks, like you get the melons and kind of like the fruit sweetness. But then you get like a clove and cinnamon and that Oloroso sherry spice style that comes through.
Love it. And
like, yeah, with time, the woodiness, the spice came through. It finishes warm. Yeah, I know one of our friends, when we mentioned that we were sipping this at the Christmas party, he was like, I hate that whiskey. And I was like, what did we do? Did we pick a shitty whiskey? But no, I really like this one. And like you said, time does wonders.
Yeah, and you mentioned lacking in the funk department, which with Glen Scotia and most Campbelltown whiskeys is kind of this like reputation of being funky and everything. And so when I tasted these blind, I actually predicted that I got them mixed up. I thought this was the Kilkerran and the Kilkerran was the Glen Scotia, and we'll explain later why. But I got them mixed up because I thought this was going to be more funky, but this is more. It's cool. This is still a whiskey I'd pour for an enthusiast and let them kind of guess, because I don't know if I'd be able to guess what this is. But it doesn't have that funk to the level I was thinking, but that's okay. It's fine.
Yeah, totally. It's that spice on the back end, though. Oh, yeah, that is so nice.
And like one of the extra jams that I poured for you guys.
Texture too, Jared. Sorry to jump in.
Oh, no,
Great
totally.
texture.
Mm-hmm.
Very mouth coating.
I haven't taken a sip in about 2-3 minutes, and it's still like tingling a little bit, and that spice is still hitting. So, but yeah, like one of the extra jams I poured for after jams or whatever is a Indie Glen Scotia, and it's one of my favorite Glen Scotias of all time. And you get that like Campbelltown style funk in it, and same thing, like you get it in different Kilkerrans, you get it in different Hazelburns and Long Rows and stuff. But there are some that it just, for whatever reason, like if different styles, like Glen Scotia only peats, I think 6 weeks out of the year, and then they don't. As far as I know, they don't clean their equipment. So like as they're coming out of their peat distillate, there's still hangover flavors that go into the first runs of the clean spirit. But yeah, it's this one surprised me, especially the second time around after leaving it for a while.
Yeah, I'm finding that too. Like I'm liking this one way more this time around, and I liked it the first time around.
You know what's funny is like there is a funk on this, but it's not the typical Campbelltown funk that we all know. It's
you're right.
This reminds me of, Jeremy, right now, nosing it, and maybe it's a dirty glass. I don't know. I haven't used this glass in a while. It reminds me of eating at the sushi at
Stevens.
At Stevens. Yeah, it reminds me of the smell of that sushi.
Dude, they're going to be stoked that they've made it into 2 episodes now.
They're going to be our title sponsor soon.
Yeah. Stevens and Langley. For all your Campbelltown funk in the sushi.
It's kind of funny when we talked with Rachel at Whiskey Drop about what whiskeys to do for this podcast, and she was like, well, there'll be no bottles left by the time, but it's actually the first, we kind of timed this well. It's the first time these bottles have been sitting around for a bit. And the whiskey number 3, it's the same thing. I'm seeing pictures pop up in our whiskey groups. Oh, seeing some Kilkerran 12 at this shop, seeing some Kilkerran 12 here. Whereas not long ago, and you guys have to know Kilkerran, because I was such a Springbank fanboy, still am. I've been drinking Kilkerran since their very first releases, since their work in progress series, and following this distillery along. And I don't know. Yeah, let's talk about the Kilkerran 12-year-old. Jeremy, you get to start again because you didn't get to talk all last episode.
I just put my nose in it. Oh my God, dude.
There is a different funk on that tonight. I don't know if it's what I ate, but like.
So just to give a little background info, I have a bottle of the first ever Kilkerran 12 release, which is a different bottle shape than this one. And I poured a sample earlier. They do not taste alike whatsoever. The funk that we are tasting on this one is not in that first release.
Interesting. What year is that one from?
Well, the distillery started in 2004. So it would have been 2016 was the first 12-year release. So that's what I have here next to the 2025 release. So 9 years between.
Okay.
Not
interesting.
Very different whiskeys.
Trav, when we tasted those the work in progress ones at your place last year, what was the youngest one of that? Do you remember?
I think I still have them. I don't know. I think it was. They didn't even start making the work in progress until about like 5 or 6 years.
Okay.
So I think it was like one of the early ones. So like, let's say 6-year-old Kilkerran.
Yeah, that night was crazy.
Yeah, we drank Kilkerran from like 6 years in. Then we drank a 12-year-old release that was first released in 2016, I guess. And then we drank the most recent 12-year-old side by side, as well as like other crazy like it was all Kilkerran crazy. Yeah, it was fun.
So cool. Okay, so casking on this one.
Yeah.
70% bourbon, 30% sherry. Bottled.
So that's where I was going. Like, it's
Dude.
more bourbon, less sherry than the 10, and you get way more sherry coming through on this.
Way more sherry coming through on this. Bottled at 46%. So same as Springer 10. Lightly peated. It's 12 to 15 peat parts per million. And this is their entry level. So it's an interesting thing I'm finding actually from the first time I went through these is like far more funk with it sitting out in the air for a longer period. Much more.
Which is not usual. Usually anything that has like a funky note to it will dissipate after a while.
Subside, yeah. Much like peat. Or your palate is just more opened up tonight, maybe, Jared?
Maybe. It could be.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, my note says more funk than anticipated, a bit of a weirdo. I thought this was a Victoriana. And it's not like, I don't want to scare people off and be like, this is, King Funk or whatever. It's not.
Mm-mm.
It's not to that level of, what's that one? King Dank, you guys call it, right, Sean?
Yeah.
And we sipped on the Afterdram after last episode. This is just, it's a character driven whiskey. And I guess I just want to say, like, Kilkerran 12 is almost, because it's sitting on shelves again, like, people need to realize this is still basically Springbank being made next door to Springbank by the same owners, the same everything.
Totally.
Same worker.
Yeah. And we'll go into buy or not buy after, but you would grab this.
Yeah, you would grab this. Like this, man, this whiskey has so much character. So if you compare directly to the Springbank 10, like the character on this is wild compared to, and what's our price point? Similar.
Very similar. We're talking almost identical price point. Maybe $10 less for the 10, depending where you're buying it.
Right.
110 for the Kilkerran 12, about 110 or 100 for Springbank 10. Like we're very close.
Yeah.
And again, I think the sherry casks in this are probably first fill. Because it's only 30%, right?
Yeah. Like when I went through it the other night, I got a lot more citrus and like peaches, and I put in my notes like those cherry 5-cent candies, the ones that look like green and red. It had that note for me. Now, like, I'm getting way more of the darker fruits from actual like Oloroso coming through, and like that a little bit of funk. I put that it's waxy. It feels waxy to me. The mouthfeel on it is great.
Well, I mean,
and then
the texture is fantastic.
Yeah, and then with the smoke, like again, it's lightly peated, 12 to 15 ppms. I find not so much in the mouth, but on the finish, it's like an ashiness comes out, and just like adds the perfect ending to the sip of this.
It's beautiful. And I think one thing to note too is like the mouthfeel on the Victoriana is really good. That's 54.2%.
Mm-hmm.
This is a 46% whiskey. That's
above its weight class.
Way above. Like this is a good little dram.
So we go back now because that ABV might come into play when we're talking about buy or not buy, because you could theoretically. So let's start with the Springbank 10. I think we've all now said like that might be the last Springbank 10 I buy for a while. I think I have 2 or 3 tucked away back there, but I think I'm always tucking them away for like Springbank events, and I like always having the Springbank open.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, maybe it's time to just kind of hold off for a bit. I don't know. I'm probably still going to buy them. But that's just me. I'm probably still going to buy it because it's Springbank. but I'm a fanboy and I have a hard time saying no. What about you guys?
And I mean, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like you were, like when you buy whiskey, half the time you're curating to a future tasting that you're gonna put together. The Springbank 10 is a perfect starter dram for a tasting of different stuff from Campbelltown, right? Like it's the perfect one for that. It gets your palate going. It's got enough going on in it that it awakens your palate. It's not, it's not a throwaway whiskey by any means.
It could be my starter dram for every tasting I ever host.
Yeah,
it actually is almost perfect.
Actually, yeah, it actually could be
with the peat, right? And Romac 10 might be the best starting whiskey though for any whiskey tasting. Actually,
yeah.
Sorry, keep going, Sean.
No, it's just, it is what it is. Like I can see why people love it, even if I don't. Maybe I'll just leave it there.
Yeah, that's fair. Jared?
I think that's fair. So
buy or not buy, though. We're not reviewing them anymore. Is it buy or not buy?
No, I'm leaving this on the shelf of the store.
Okay. Jared?
Yeah, I gave this away a little bit earlier, but like if I go over to a friend's house, he pours this for me, not mad about it at all. Like enjoyable dram while you're watching a hockey game or whatever. $110. I'm not buying this one.
That's fair. I have to say buy just because I literally I just keep buying them. I got too many of them.
Yeah.
But it's just Springbank. That it's not the 10. It's just the brand. I love it all. Yeah. Okay, number 2, the Victoriana. Nice. They got like the green bottles, like the.
I like that.
Kind of a cool look, like a Heineken whiskey. 100 and what do we say? 130. So this is the most expensive of the night, but it's also the highest ABV by 8%. I want to know if you go to a store and you see this for 130 or the Kilkerran 12 at 46% for 110. Which one are you buying? That's really the question tonight.
It's okay. So if you like immediately, if I'm just looking at bottles on the shelf and looking at the price point, ABV comes into play for sure. To me, especially after having tasted this, $130 for the mid 50s ABV, which is like kind of my favorite. I love it when whiskeys sit in that range. To me, I go, man, I feel like that's a pretty good value. Lots of character, 54 something percent, $130. I'd probably buy that.
So you're picking the Victoriana at 130 over the Kilkerran 12 at 110.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah, that's the question because we're down to 2 whiskeys. You've passed on the Springbank 10. You're in the Campbelltown section. Victoriana, $130. Kilkerran 12, 110. You have to pick one bottle to spend your money on.
I have to pick one question.
Yeah.
Oh my.
You have to pick one. Because we have to pick one of these 2.
That gets a whole lot tougher.
He wants to come back to you.
Well, man. Here's the thing. It's okay, so like I pour where I live, like I pour a lot for like whiskey enthusiasts. If I'm pouring whiskey, people are coming over or I've been invited to somebody's house. It's usually people that are enthusiasts. So it's not like a bunch of people that are just kind of starting out.
Yeah.
Victoriana would be a really cool one to pour for people, for enthusiasts. If I frame it that way, like good ABV, lots of character going on, good mouthfeel. That would be a fun one to like brown paper bag and make people
yes
and talk about it.
Paper bag whiskey, 100%.
Like so.
Nose them side by side right now. I'm going back and forth. The Victoriana is dominating the Kilkerran 12 for me on the nose.
Yeah, I polished off my. Oh no, I have a tiny bit left. But okay, I'll frame it this way. If I'm buying something for me to put on my shelf, I'm going with the Kilkerran.
Wow.
If I am buying something to go and drink with other enthusiasts that I think will be cool, I'm picking the Victoriana.
That's fair. I actually respect that, even though I think you're kind of
Copying out.
escaping the question. But I respect the way you framed it, so I'm going to let it slide.
All right, thank you.
Sean, you better beat that.
Okay, well, Jeremy was beating around the bush without entering.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That was the most diplomatic. You might as well run.
He was teasing. He was teasing, and a political answer. Yeah, no
Just
doubt.
the tip, baby.
So I was looking online for a Glen Scotia that would be the equivalent to the Kilkerran. Now, age statement can't really compare it, but there is a Glen Scotia double cask, which is bourbon and sherry, and it's 46%, so same ABV. Now that is on sale right now for $56 in Alberta.
Jesus.
So now regular prices, it's like 75-ish at most stores.
What's the age on it? What's the age on it?
It's an NAS, same as Victoriana.
Who cares?
So so if you're putting value on the age statement, then like the Kilkerran's going to take it. I like Jeremy's political answer. It's totally where I'd be leaning to. Now, I'd probably buy both.
Oh, for fuck's sakes. This segment's going to be ruined if you guys can't take a stand.
It's actually a hard one. It is.
This is hard, like really hard. If I had $140 and that's it, and I had to buy one of these bottles, I'd probably buy the Victoriana just because it's such a weirdo.
Yeah.
But literally you can't go wrong. Yeah. And I share most of my whiskey anyways, so like it's gonna go to some enthusiasts. And this is one that literally put a sample pack together, and this is the mystery dram that you add into it because totally it's weird.
You guys are going to that like. To me, these are both enthusiast whiskeys. I don't know if I could. I don't know if I could pour this Kilkerran 12 for my uncle that I could pour the Glenallachie 12 for. You know what I mean? So last episode, I was like, I'm going to get the Lowland Enigma for my whiskey enthusiast friends. I'm going to get the Glenallachie 12 for my uncle. That's like, you got a nice whiskey collection. Like, right. This, to me, both of these are not what I would pour for that same uncle.
Totally agree.
Both of these are enthusiast whiskeys. So I have to say, if I'm buying one of them, I'm buying the Victoriana. Because to me, it's got just a look. There's more going on in the nose. The nose is much more active for me. And it's just a more cool kind of nuanced release. And I kind of love that they were trying to recreate like that older era of whiskey and all of that. I love Kilkerran, not knocking it. I'm buying the Victorian. That's and I will buy a bottle because I've been buying a bottle every month. By the way, I'm keeping up with my commitments. I bought the Lowland Enigma, tucked it away. It's up there, and I will buy the Victoria.
It's very good, man.
No, I'm not beating around the bush like you guys. I'm making a stance.
I poured the rest of my Victoriana, and now I'm doing them side by side, and I'm questioning everything I know.
Yeah, you're like, oh, maybe Travis is actually right for once.
Dude, it's super good.
It's so. Okay, guys, we got to move on because we have a fun segment here, following up on our design and art bag.
Oh yeah, Jeremy, don't forget the timestamp for everybody, so they can just skip all the bullshit and go to the reviews.
I'll learn how to do that.
You know what? Don't even worry about it. If they want to find it, they'll find it. So our assignment this week, 2 episodes ago, we designed an art bag release, but because we're doing Campbelltown whiskeys, you each have to design a Campbelltown distillery. And Campbelltown is known for being weird Campbelltown is known for being so. A quick backstory: the owner of Springbank is Headley Wright. I think he just passed away. Actually, did he? Is he still alive?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No,
Passed away.
I just heard the story. He passed away, and the town now owns Springbank.
Yeah, he literally handed it off to the town. He's a beauty. They were about to remove Campbelltown as an official Scotch region, and he was like, "That's not fair. Why are you removing it?" But at the time, it was just Springbank and Glen Scotia, which were just two distilleries. So he's like, "We can't really call it a region." The Lowlands at the time, they now have 20 distilleries, but at the time in 2004, they only had 3 distilleries. So Headley Wright was like, "What if we built a 3rd distillery? Then you can't say no, because basically you'd have to close the Lowlands." So he built Glengyle Distillery, which is Kilkerran has actually made a Glengyle Distillery.
Yeah.
Which is so. Anyways, there's so much cool history there, and you now have to design your own distillery on Campbelltown, which I think there's 2 more coming right now. I believe
cool.
I think there's 2 new ones coming. One from Brave New Spirits, that company, and then there's another one. So there's going to be 5 soon.
I think there's 2 being built and a 3rd new one that's like been approved.
Yeah.
So 10 years down the road, we might have 6 distilleries.
Well, there'll be 9 because we're about to design 3 more.
Yeah.
It's-
Okay. There you go.
And it's wild too when like I pulled up Google Maps and I was looking at them. Dude, they're all
Totally what I did.
they're all so close.
Yeah. They're like,
Oh, it's a tiny town.
Everything we're drinking is I'm like stone's throw.
Yeah.
well, the logo on a Kilkerran bottle, which is right there, is said to be looking out of a basement window at Springbank across the street to where Glengyle is. And like that's the bars on the logo is looking through the window out across the street, basically. Like, yeah, it's crazy.
It's a crazy. I've been to Scotland once. I have not been to Campbelltown, and I just feel like I'm a lesser man, a lesser human for not having been there. But
I would love to go, man.
well, we're gonna once this podcast takes off and makes millions, we'll be there. They'll pay us to come and feature their distillery. Maybe not after the Springbank 10 review might they might be like, you know what, we're about to invite you guys, but it's that deal's off. That deal's completely done. You guys voted us number 3 on the episode. Who wants to go first on
We'll be outside of
Campbelltown Distillery? Who's going first?
I'll go first because you go first.
Okay.
No, Jared gets to go first. Remember, Sean? He never got to.
Yeah.
Dude, I'll go first.
Jared, go first.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you guys, I went on a deep dive. I was heavily invested in this. I designed something that was like, I'm going to start rounding up some investors because this is a great idea. Okay.
Oh, and all the ideas are now fully copyrighted at Last Call Whiskey Podcast. Fuck everyone.
Yeah. No one can steal our ideas. Nobody.
It's okay. So Campbelltown is like such a cool area. I am big on like the seaside, like nautical stuff. So I grew up, like my dad had a sailboat growing up. My mom and dad had a sailboat. So I'm actually certified as a competent crew member on a sailboat. I don't know. There's a fun fact for you guys.
Jeremy, no one gives a fuck. Just
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
No, I'm just kidding, Jeremy. Actually, I did not know that. I just chimed in.
So I love the whole nautical side. So I started researching. I spent way too much time on this. I started researching fishing trawler boats that were built in Campbelltown. And I found like a whole list of them. So my distillery would be called Mary Crone Distillery after a trawler that was built in Campbelltown in the 70s.
Like it.
And it would be a distillery that sits like right on the edge of the ocean. and it would actually be a space that took over an old fishing boat slipway.
Yeah.
Okay. So picture like they've repurposed boat repair warehouses, stuff like that. So it's not massive, super tiny. Guys like mending fishing nets. That's the scene. Okay. My core line releases would all be named after other fishing trawlers. Okay.
I like that.
So I would run just a traditional steel mash tun. Worm tubs, outdoor. So I do like open air fermentation. I want like all of that seaside goodness, seagull shit, everything getting in there.
I like it.
Then we would do, and so I went so detailed. I'm like, they have to be outside because there's no room inside. The boat repair shops they're too small. Okay. Stills. So I picked like wide-shouldered copper stills, steam boiled, but in a way that mimics like the rolling boil of a direct flame heated still. And this is the coolest part. So I would actually have a fishing boat that is in one of the slips, and the casks would be rolled out and loaded onto the boat, and that's where they would age.
I like that.
Okay, so you get a little bit of like movement in the water and everything with the aging casks. It's a cool thing for tourists to walk up to like an old fishing boat and it's loaded with some casks.
Yeah, like the Jefferson Sea bourbon.
Yeah. So all smaller batch, and that's now my dream. So I'm phoning people with money to make it happen.
Yeah, when you start thinking about it, you're like, actually, no, I want to do this. This is my dream job.
Totally. Dude, I spent 2 hours on this today.
Oh yeah, it's so much fun. Not with the Ardbeg creations, we're on the
off the cuff.
off the cuff, and this was like, oh, I'm doing a deep dive.
Mm-hmm.
Sean, do you want you or me?
I'll go. Okay, so I too went on Google Maps and kind of circled around the area. So if you go out towards the open ocean from the town, there's an island called Davar Island, Davaar. Look it up on Google Maps right now.
Dude, I looked at it.
This island, it's across Campbelltown from Campbelltown Lock. It's only accessible at low tide, and it's built on top of cliffs. So there's actually a causeway that opens up at low tide. It's the only way you can access it other than that. So I named my distillery, and I looked it up in Gaelic, so my Gaelic pronunciation is going to be shit. But as far as Google translated, it is as far ish daka. And what it means is the best, probably. So
The best distillery, probably. Probably?
just the best, probably, in Gaelic. So
That's the best name so far, for sure.
100%.
okay, so my structure now, I drew it just for. So it's totally gable styled. So
It looks like the
very
pyramids in
familiar to
Egypt.
us in Alberta.
Looks like the Wonka, yeah.
So in my description here, structure, it's custom. We have a custom malting facility on the island, and we have the ability to change the peat ppm levels from 2 ppm to 1,000 ppm. The warehouses are 100% camouflaged, and you can only see them when you're within 50 meters of the walls. They're completely camouflaged into the ground. The still house will be a perfect black matte, gable style, and stawning. You can come sue me, you fucking cucks. Inside, I will have mash tuns, copper domed mash tuns, 6 in total, each 15,000 liter capacities. 4 will always be running malted barley, and 1 will be in use for unmalted barley. The 6 will always be down for maintenance on a rotating schedule. That's a little bit of my background. always have something on a backup being worked on. Washbacks and fermentation. So I have 3 7,500 liter washbacks. They're made from bog oak, recovered from the peat bogs in Scotland. They're jacketed with heating cooling systems that keep a constant perfect temperature, but the cooling systems are run on maple syrup from Canada. It allows 17-day fermentations, and I use Distillamex GW for the unmalted wash and M strain brewer's yeast for the malted barley. I have 3 wash stills and 3 spirit stills for malted production with upward S-shaped line arms. Wash capacities are 15,000 liters and spirit stills are 17,000 liters. 2 smaller wash stills with 15-degree line arms, capacity 10,000 liters, and 2 spirit stills with 12,500 liters, 10-degree S-shaped line arms. We can also combine the malt stills and the smaller unmalted stills in series to produce the world's heaviest gravity density triple distilled malt whiskeys.
Oh, yeah.
My cask warehouse. The warehouses are actually built on the boggiest ground of the island, and earthen floors, no higher than 4 levels of racks. And there is also a small custom cask storage space built inside one of the caves in the cliffs on the island. And there's earthen rock floors in there. At high tide, the ocean water is within 3 feet of the first set of casks. Cask types, ex-bourbon, but for 3 years only for an initial maturation. And then we have secondary aging in Mizunara, all types of sherry, Bordeaux, port, Canadian ice wine, and we have a special trade pact with 19 Crimes Winery, and they send us all the used Snoop Dogg California wine casks. And we call it Original Gangsta Whiskey.
I like that. That's a nice touch.
And then the final product, obviously, it's the best probably, so we can just play on that.
Man, I thought I did a deep dive, but I obviously fucking didn't.
I thought Sean said when we were like, he's like, you did way more than what I did. And you did he did more than all of us.
Listen, I'm on vacation. I've got to work. I had a shower and put on my glasses that I don't own, and I went to town.
Here's my Campbelltown distillery. My Campbelltown distillery combines my love of hockey, sharks, and coal mines. It will be called Glen Spring, Scotia. It's going to be built into the side of a hill that used to be a coal mine overlooking the town. It actually, if you look at it, you'd think Bilbo and Frodo used to live there. It's literally a grassy knoll with one little wooden door entry, and everyone has to go through that door. Workers, tourists, everyone. The door that Gandalf had to duck under to get into in Lord of the Rings is the door you have to walk under to get into my distillery. The mash tun, we couldn't fit it in through that wooden door, so we have a Zamboni that's parked on the driveway. It's an old Zamboni, and you stir the mash with a goalie stick. So that's where the hockey comes in. So it's Scotland meets hockey meets whatever. The washbacks are made of old Paul Coffey Sherwood hockey sticks. 6 or 7 month fermentations, 6 or 7 month fermentations, but we could go to 6 or 7 years. It just depends what's going to work. And the fermentations are happening deep in the coal mine, where the microorganisms of the coal mine are really like doing their shit. Stills, I got tiny copper pot stills because you can only fit a tiny still through that little wooden front door. That's the only door. So you have to like this. You got to picture the stills like the size of this box, probably. I don't know. It's a tiny still. And the stills are run very quickly, and they have steeply ascending line arms. And then, Jared, do you have my picture?
Yeah, here. Let me pull it up.
I have a still with worm tub condensers that run through a shark tank. Yeah, that's it.
There it is, right there.
So if you're watching on YouTube, the worm tub condensers are going through a tub with sharks. And if you come to the distillery, the premium tour means you get to actually go scuba diving with the shark. It's a bigger tank than this. This is not to scale. It's a way bigger. Yeah. And the sharks are bigger too. The casks, they're buried deep in the coal mine, like way back in there. Super cold climate. The Angel share is 0.5%. It's like there's zero Angel share. So we're not allowed to bottle anything till it's 18 years old. It's just going to sit back there. We got big investors, guys. We got people spending money on this distillery. They're like 18 years, no problem. Actually, we're going to bottle one whiskey at like 6 or 7 years. It's called Caution. Just got to be careful with that one. Our final product, it's a funky new make. It's like a really kind of cool whiskey, but the 18 years in the coal mine makes it like this perfect, funky, but drinkable whiskey. And we're going to call it the Black Lung.
Love it.
Yeah. That's my distillery.
Love it.
When you said the first 3 lines of your speech, I had it on mute. I poured the 3 whiskeys together in a Heathen's blend. I took a sip and it came out my nose. I was laughing and it hurt so bad.
Which 3 lines? I thought they were all the pretty normal.
The name. First of all.
Glen Spring, Scotia.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a very original name. No other distilleries named it.
Oh, I think that's the point where it came out my nose.
I think if you're in Scotland, you got to start with Glen. If you're Glen, you're going to do fine.
Thanks a lot. Dude.
That's true.
Glen something. I'm just saying, if you're Glen something.
Yeah. No.
Are we?
It's no as far as Staka, meaning the best probably.
Whiskey Club shout out. This month we're doing the Southern Ontario Sippers. They are a huge club. Last month, the Quebec Whiskey Club, I think they're like a couple hundred. Southern Ontario Sippers, they are 700 to 900 members.
No way.
They don't even know how many members. They're on Facebook and Discord. So it's not like where they have a list of all their members, but there's just a lot of people. They founded in 2020, so they're about 5 years old. They've done 14 casks.
What?
Edmonton Scotch Club's been around since 10 years now. We've done 3. These guys have been around 5 years, if my math is correct. They've done 14 casks. That's crazy. They do have a single cask nation cask coming up, by the way.
Very cool.
Insider scoop. It's delicious. Really good. They meet up 8 to 10 times a year virtually. And under fun facts, I actually added this. They do really make a point. It's Joel and Bobby that run the club. And they actually really make a point of supporting smaller agencies and clubs, which is awesome. So they cool. Most of the events they do are not with like the big brands. They do events with brands like PWS and stuff to support the little guy, which I think is awesome. They're on Instagram and Facebook. They don't have a website, but they're on Instagram, Facebook, and Discord. But you got to ask to get on there, I think. Anyway, Southern Ontario Sippers. I'm going to be there with Bearded Dave in February in Ottawa at the Whiskey Wonderland Festival. And the SOS folks and the PWS folks party pretty hard together at that. Like we party hard that weekend. Hard. SOS
Like
PW.
call up Andrew WK because we're partying.
We're gonna party. We're gonna party hard that weekend. Joel and Bobby, thanks for supporting PWS, but also thanks for just creating another cool whiskey community in Canada. We said to James, it's the best whiskey community in the world.
Totally.
A whole bunch of clubs across Canada doing really cool stuff. So thanks, you guys. Sean, tasting kits?
Yeah, so very happy to announce that as of November 18th, the first batch of whiskey kits that were for the first 2 episodes are officially sold out. So that's awesome. Great news. I made a reel, and within a day of that reel, they all sold out. So pat on my back for that one. No, it was Whiskey Drop definitely came through with that. They are awesome. So the 3 whiskeys tonight will be the first half of the next kit. So once our January 1st episode launches, the next batch will be ready to go. So first week of January, tasting kit set 2 will be available. Yeah, we already know what we're drinking for the other half, and it's definitely going to be 3 Campbelltowns this month and 3 bangers next month. So
Yeah, man. I'm excited for that too.
Yeah, we'll just do some quick upcoming events.
Whoa, you skipped one. The Whiskey Drop has the kits, but they also have their whiskey clubs. So
that's
for one whiskey club a month. If you go on whiskey-drop.ca and go to clubs, they have an enthusiast club where every single month or 2 months or 3 months or 4 months, they'll send you a bottle. And the enthusiast club is $150 a month or 2 months or 3 months or 4 months. And it's a non-peated single malt scotch from Scotland. So it's not peated. It's $150. They're going to send you something cool. And again, it's like, it's such a cool idea for people just getting into whiskey or enthusiasts where you're like, I just want something different that I've never tried before. It's going to be a new bottle every single time that no one else has tried. So
yeah, and
very cool.
Like, if you like, obviously this is coming out December 1st. Like, that is a awesome Christmas gift to give somebody that either, an enthusiast or getting into whiskey. Maybe they, like I did 8-10 years ago, stand at a wall of whiskey in a store and just look back and forth forever. This takes all of that out of the equation. You're getting sent a classic, good drinking single malt and something that you'll be proud to share with your friends, put on your shelf. Yeah, it's a great way to get into one of their clubs for sure.
Totally. As long as it's not one of James Bornn's whiskeys. Then ask for your money back.
The dude's getting roasted for
I just had to throw it.
no reason.
Yeah. Upcoming events. Sean, what's Pour Decisions this month? You might know this one.
Yeah, so Pour Decisions this month. It's the final one of the year. It'll have been already gone by the time people are watching and hearing this, but it's the last Monday of every month. Obviously, they're skipping December because the last Monday is like Christmas or something. This one for November is a big year-end soiree, performers, giveaways, prizes, the best host probably ever, maybe sometimes. I'm hosting it again this month, and I'm doing it with. I'm very proud to be pouring Bushmill's core lineup, including the Sexton, the 10, the 12, the 15, 10, 12, 16, and 21. And there's probably going to be a special bottle at the end for that. And yeah, it's going to be a good time. Lots of prizes, lots of giveaways. It's going to be a real good time.
Sean, did you get a little fire inside you when James earlier said that he thought the most underrated distillery was Bushmills? 'Cause I did.
Yeah, like butterflies in my stomach, fluttering heart, other bodily functions.
He did that for a reason. He's buttering.
He was audience.
He knew. He knew that would get Sean and I.
I've seen that look in both your eyes before. I want no part of it. Whiskey Wonderland tickets are on sale. It's in February. I will be there. PWS will be there. Joshua from Single Cast Nation will be there. It is a fun whiskey festival. Jer, have you ever been to Victoria Whiskey Festival, Jer?
I actually have never been able to make it.
Really?
The last few years. So, I mean, part of that is with my business start of the year, everyone's ramping stuff up. So I've been invited multiple times, I think the last 3 years. And every time I'm like, I kind of have to wait to see what's going on, like directly leading up to it. So it hasn't worked out. I'd love to get over there. I hear really good things. Have either of you been?
Well, you know what? You want me to talk about all the events I've been to? I got to host a master class there once.
Oh, cool.
For my old job with Rare Drams. Yeah, I co-hosted a master class with Stacy Kyle. So
Very cool.
I'm considered pretty important at that festival there in Victoria. If you go there, just drop my name and people will know about my time there.
I can't wait to do that. Yeah.
Kensington Wine Market in Calgary is running their Advent whiskey tastings all month. So they do their whiskey Advent, which is awesome, but they also do whiskey Advent tastings. So you can just go and taste the whiskeys in the Advent at different tastings throughout the month. It is seriously the best whiskey Advent on the market. The Kensington Wine Market one. It's nuts. They put shit that you've never tried in there. It's just buy one.
Very cool.
And the last one I just threw it on there because we just did the Southern Ontario Sippers as our club with Canadian Whiskey Club of the month. And Scotch and Ponder, Simon is actually I believe he's still a member of SOS, but he just opened a whiskey bar in Ontario. And I wanted to give him a shout out because it's not an easy venture to open a whiskey bar. But he's doing some really cool events there. Like not just like we're going to do the Balvenie lineup for the week. He's doing like cool, like independent bottlers and really fun stuff. So if you're out in Ontario and you're a whiskey person, go check out Scotch and Ponder in Toronto. I think it's in Toronto or just outside of Toronto.
Very cool.
Yeah. That's it. That's all I got for events.
Love it. And man, this episode is dropping December 1st. So we're heading into Christmas season here. It's you guys are in Advents, right? Whiskey Advents?
Yeah, the Edmonton Scotch Club has an Advent.
Edmonton Scotch Club has one. It's
Sean's not in it though. He's here's the
Every
thing.
year Trav's like, this is how much it is. You've tried 90% of these, probably 95% of these whiskeys. Do you really want in? I was like, I guess not.
Yeah, it's not fun making whiskey advents for a guy who's tried every whiskey. It's actually a little bit frustrating.
That's fair. What's the format for the Edmonton Scotch Club one?
We just go by. I buy 25 whiskeys, and then I do 5 different themes. So 5 by 5.
Okay.
So it could be a distillery. Like this year, we have a turntable whiskey week. We have an Inchgower distillery week. We have a Glenallachie week. James Bornn, we have a Glenallachie week. And then it's just theme weeks, and it's all new stuff. We have Pete Week as well. So
very cool.
But Sean's tried everything. He's a really hard man to please.
I know.
When it comes to
this. He is.
Yeah.
My wife says it all the time.
It's this year I got invited into a whiskey advent. So it's my friend Tim LaHaye. He owns a restaurant here called we'll call it a restaurant called The Barley Merchant. So he had a big Instagram account and he supported BC craft beer. And he's opened a restaurant. It opened a few years ago now. But they have 50 taps and it's all BC beer.
Jesus.
So it is a really cool spot. So
right in Langley?
In Langley, yeah.
Oh man.
So and their food is phenomenal as well. So he fired me a text, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. And he's like, hey man, we're doing Whiskey Advent this year. Last year it was 12 people. We want to try to make it 24 people. everyone just picks a bottle and it's blind.
Oh, where they all just submit a bottle.
And then there's like a price point to it. And then at 8 p.m., whatever your assigned night is, you jump in the WhatsApp chat and you tell what your bottle is.
Gotcha.
So I'm jumping in that this year and I'm excited about it. I can't say what I'm putting in it because this will air before my day. But it'll be fun.
We have 14 podcast listeners. The odds of one of them being in
13.
13. The odds of one of them being in your Advent group are quite slim.
Quite low. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but you know what? Your secret's safe with us.
Just to be
Your
safe.
secret is safe with us. Scotch Advents are such a fun friggin'
Totally.
way to get through the month. Beer Advents, like I gotta drink a full beer every single night this month. No thanks. A little splash of whiskey? Easy.
Man, I've done the beer ones too, and it's in my like 20s I liked them. But man, I'm pushing 40 over here. I can't do a beer
No.
every night.
And
No,
you
wait.
can
For us, well over the 40 hump, we definitely can't do a beer night.
Like it ain't happening. Sorry.
there's a reason I'm wearing a giant
So, Jared,
green hoodie.
does somebody for that Advent like have to handle sampling it out for everybody?
So they do like a gathering night.
Okay.
So everyone's supposed to pre-pour their samples. So like I have my bottles, I'll fill all of mine, put my day number on them. And then there's like everyone gets together, everyone does a swap, and then you all take your stuff home.
That's actually
Just word of warning: you want to use sample bottles with polycap lids, because if you use the ones with the glue lids, it can taint the samples. As an Advent calendar that we were part of years ago, we found out.
Oh no.
I was not part of that.
I was not part of that.
Don't say we. You were part of it. I was never invited. You were part of it. And
Yeah. So again,
you
same
pointed
idea.
out, you pointed out the glue note.
Well, they were bottled. They were poured into sample bottles like months ahead of time. And when you have cast strength whiskey sitting with glue attached lids, the seals on the lids, the glue kind of seeped into the whiskey a little bit. And the first 7 days all tasted exactly the same. And like the people who knew what they were, like, what the hell happened?
Oh no.
Yeah, tainted whiskey is not fun.
Not fun. No.
Next episode, January 1st.
Yeah.
So it's Merry Christmas to everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas. Go buy a Kilkerran. No. What do we choose?
Dude, I
Victoriana.
need to say something
Okay.
because
Are you changing your opinion?
well, no, here's the true tell is I poured the Kilkerran Victoriana my last little bit of it.
Yeah.
And I was sipping both of them, and I chose to end with a Victoriana, which
Ooh.
is a huge statement. So I think that's my buy.
Okay. So 2-1. I think if you have people coming over the holidays, buy the Victoriana.
Yeah.
You can buy a Kilkerran as well, but you probably won't be able to find one anyways. Most people won't be able to find one. Victoriana is pretty available, isn't it?
Yep. I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, just go buy one of those. Yeah. All right. Merry Christmas, dudes. Well, we're going to do an after jam, but Merry Christmas anyways. We're going to drink some Springbank 30.
We're gonna do an after drams.
There's a few.
Lofty drams.
I hope none of you have to be up early tomorrow.
I have meetings all morning.
Oh, God.
But let's do it.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for...
Thank you, guys.
Cheers, everyone.
The Last Call Whiskey Podcast is sponsored by Whiskey Drop Canada. Don't forget that every 2 episodes, you'll be able to order a kit through Whiskey Drop where you can taste through all of the whiskeys that we taste on this podcast. And special thanks to our friends Really Jiggered for the use of their recording of Parting Glass in this episode. We'll see you guys next time.
Good night.